an old parable that I'll read to you straight from the commentary that I read it from this week. It's a few paragraphs. Please be patient. On a dangerous seacoast, where shipwrecks often occur, stood a life-saving station. The building was just a hut and there was only one boat, but the few devoted members kept a constant watch over the sea and with no thought for themselves went out day and night tirelessly searching for the lost. Many of those who were rescued, and also others from the surrounding area, wished to become associated with the station and to give their time, their money, and their effort towards its work. New boats were then bought and new crews were trained. The life-saving station grew. In time, some of the crew became concerned that the station was so crude and poorly equipped, and so they felt that a more commodious place should be purchased and provided as the refuge for those who were snatched from the sea. The emergency cots were replaced with beds, and better furniture was purchased for the enlarged building. The station became a popular gathering place for its members now. Membership fees were charged, and they decorated it beautifully and furnished it exquisitely. Fewer members were now interested in leaving this plush station to go on to sea to save lives. So, they hired lifesavers. They hired surrogates to do their work. However, they retained their own life-saving motif in the club's decorations, and a ceremonial lifeboat lay in the room, so they all remembered what we're really here for. One dark, stormy night, a large ship was wrecked off the coast, and the hired crews brought in boatloads of cold, wet, half-drowned people. Some were dead already. They were dirty and sick, and obviously from distant shores. The station was in chaos. This event was so traumatic for the life-saving staff that they contracted other buildings to be constructed so that future shipwrecks could be processed there with less disruption of the life-saving station. Eventually, a rift developed in the station between the staff. Most of the members wanted to discontinue the station's life-saving activities because it's unpleasant and a hindrance to their normal social life. Some insisted, however, that a rescue was their primary purpose and pointed out that they were still called a life-saving station. But the latter were ignored and told that if they want to keep on life-saving as their primary purpose, they could begin their own station down the coast, which they did. Over time, those same individuals fell prey to the same temptations of the first group, coming to care more about comforting one another than rescuing the perishing. After a while, a few, remembering their real purpose, split off again to establish yet another life-saving station. And on it went. Today, if you visit that seacoast, you'll find a number of impressive life-saving stations along the shore. Sadly, shipwrecks still occur in those waters, but most people are lost. The commentator then says of this old parable, Paul's great fear was that the vibrant life-saving station in Ephesus, the principal lighthouse in Asia Minor, would put out its light and forget its mission. This is the danger of every church, every leadership change, every seasonal change as the church grows like we are now. As new ventures come up, as new people come in, as new leaders come in, as a generation passes away and the next one takes leadership, always is the risk to the detriment of the eternal souls that are drowning. Will this station of life-saving gospel preaching change and twist to become more comfortable for those already here? Spurgeon used to say that a church is a soul-saving company, or it is nothing. A church is a soul-saving organization, or it is nothing. Not, or it's a lesser thing, or it's slightly distracted from its main purpose, if she is not primarily a life-saving, soul-winning station that preaches the gospel, then prays down God's blessing on our community, and keeps that as its one indefatigable, zealous focus and emphasis, if that is not the character of the church, it is no such thing. It doesn't even justify its existence. It should not exist if it is not a soul-saving company. This is not a sort of thing that is delegated to certain more zealous or more Methodist or more Arminian arms or denominations of the church. That those people who are born from Wesley or the churches that were started in revival or the Pentecostals win them, then we disciple them in the Reformed community. That's our Great Commission, apparently. This is not delegated to a certain arm of the church. Let me even say this. It's not even delegated to a certain ministry within the local church. Not only is every church a soul-winning company, or it is nothing, every single Christian needs to accept that their primary calling in life is to see people know Jesus. And that doesn't mean quit whatever job you do. Leave your family and run away to do this. This means in your current stations, ordered and ordained and given by God, one of your primary callings there is to see the gospel go forth, is to come to church, pull resources, send people, do activities, do the prayers that you can, support the preaching of the gospel. That is the task of every Christian. In other words, if you're not an evangelistic Christian, you need to repent and become more evangelistic. That's simply how it is. It's not a spiritual gifting. It's not a personality type. You come in and we do a Myers-Briggs test, and if you get EVNG, then you're going to be an evangelist. It is the calling of every Christian to be the winner of souls, the fisher of men, the seekers of those who are lost.